Start
what?
that.
It's not the mead, it's the setup.
Start that. And I think we're all set. Everybody
I can
ready?
predict the future. Yeah.
Is everybody ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Welcome to Mead Talk.
Mead Talk.
Thank you so much for showing up tonight for the Mead Talk. We have a special guest tonight. It's going to be awesome. But in case you don't know, Mead Talk is a wonderful place where we all get to come together and talk about the wonderful subjects of life, whether they be contradicting or fun or, stressful. All of the things. We believe that talking is one of the best things to do amongst people who disagree. So, whether we disagree or agree, we like to talk about it. And on Mead Talk, in order to enter the realm of Mead Talk, you have to at least consume 3 glasses of mead. So every one of us up here are at least 3 glasses in. Cheers. Cheers.
3 deep.
3 deep. 3 deep. 3 deep. Cheers to the mead. The mead here is fantastic, if you don't already know. And it is St. Paddy's Day, if you don't know that as well.
Yeah, look, I just realized everybody's going to see a black bar in my face. I'm a black bar face.
Oh, yeah, you do have
I'm a black bar face.
You can't really see it. You got to get a better angle
I'm
next time.
going to get over here, black
There you
bar
go.
face. That's
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
maybe if we move it that way.
Yeah. As you can see, we're new to this.
Yeah.
We Googled how to do this, and Google lies.
Yeah.
We got a
We're
nice
only
hat.
31 episodes in.
Yeah, we're new.
Very new. We're new to these
But you guys are doing
things.
pretty good
Yeah.
at being 31. You've had a
Yeah.
lot of really interesting people on.
It's
We have.
evolved quite quickly,
Yeah. We
have.
too. Yeah.
You're one of them.
I'm one of them.
Just so you know.
I'm just a guy.
You're just a guy.
I just show up for the
Very
meat.
humble.
I'm just a guy, and life is a nightmare.
Yeah. A humble guy,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, we appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. Mead Talk is a place where, we come together and talk about all subjects, like I said, but for thousands of years, we believe things have evolved and been talked about around mead in
Right.
particular, or, just alcoholic beverages. Wars have probably been fought over it. Peace has probably come from it. But, yeah, so... We think
I really don't see how you could be angry drinking meat.
I know, right? It's
Like-
a happy buzz.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really
it's not
is.
like, drinking a heavy beer.
Or whiskey, or, just...
Well, I also don't see how you can be angry drinking whiskey.
Well,
but
there's a lot
now
of people
gin,
out there.
My wife will tell you that if I drink gin, I get quite angry.
You get angry?
But I love it.
Yeah.
I feel happy.
Rum. Every time I drink
yeah.
rum, I want to heal. Like if I'm drinking rum and Coke or something, all I want to do is listen to steel drums.
Your wife said, I love your beads, Bo. I said, he earned them.
Noise. Shelby, your bit. No.
Hey, Wade,
But now, I will say-
Wade said he's watching.
What? Wade is such a stalker, man.
Hey, Wade, we got an interview of him on the last
He
one.
wants double points. That's yep.
Did you see that? We got an interview of Wade on the last one.
We did, dude.
It was awesome.
That was awesome.
It was pretty cool. Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Extra points.
You can carry them over to the next year, or you can use them now. You tell me how you want to roll. There.
Hey.
Okay, okay.
Hey, Josh, can we get a mic check on that wireless mic?
Mic
So
check,
just-
1, 2.
On the wireless mic?
Mic check.
So, yeah, we have a wireless mic out there for the audience. If anybody wants to get involved, they
Chime in.
are more than welcome to partake. So thanks so much, everybody, for cluing in. Tonight we have...
Can you?
Wait.
Can you?
There it is.
Wait. Hand it to Mikey.
Yeah,
Mikey?
Mikey's the best mic checker out there.
We can't mic check without Mike. E.
Yo, it's Mike on the mic.
All right, Mike.
Mic check 1, 2.
There it is.
geez,
So
that's beautiful.
Gorgeous, man.
All right.
Now it's mic check. 1,
Look,
2, 1,
this show
2.
was about to get demolished, but Mike has now He solidified this show. We appreciate you, Mike.
Thank you so much. There is a mic at the bar if you would like to partake in this fun conversation. Tonight we're talking Constitution again.
Yes.
We're going over the Bill of Rights.
But you know what? We have an Anna and a Jennifer side by side. This is going to get interesting.
No,
The Constitution.
So the Bill of Rights.
Yeah,
we are on.
That's what we all say.
We are on number 7, but we talked about lightly touching on 7 and then moving on to 8, 9, and 10, right? Because we're doing 3 at a time.
Yeah,
And
well,
so-
we do 3 at a time, but the reason we're gonna lightly touch on 7 is because 7 hasn't been incorporated to the states.
Right. Yeah.
Therefore, 7 doesn't apply.
You know,
So why talk about it if we, what's the point of talking about it if it doesn't apply to the states? Where the as we've talked about before, the Bill of Rights applied to only the federal government.
To the federal, yes.
Right. It wasn't until the 14th Amendment came along where they said, hey, wait a minute. No, all these apply to the states too.
Right.
The problem with the 7th is there has to be selective incorporation.
Right.
Every single one, the Supreme Court says, okay, well, through the 14th Amendment, either the Equal Protection Clause or the Due Process Clause of the 14th, that's how it applies to the states. The 7th Amendment really doesn't have a lot of applicability.
Yeah.
So
Somebody said or Brandon, our cousin, said, who stole your Lucky Charms? I said the government. Yep. Because that's what they do.
right?
Our cousin is watching us now?
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Tell him if I had more time, we'd play more games together.
He can hear you.
I know.
Well,
And
okay,
he's still an
so
asshole, but I love him.
let's lightly touch. Explain to us what by the way, everybody, this is Bo. We've had him on a couple times before.
Yes.
I haven't got the second video up because of some stupid things with my computer, because that was the next video I was about to throw up today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
I've got it on my phone.
yeah, so
do
we
you?
gotta get
Yeah.
I
we
have
gotta
it in
get
my
all
pocket.
that set up,
It's
and then
in my
I've got
pocket.
a lot of hours to work
You're
on
right
here.
there to buy mine.
Yes.
So let's talk about the 7th Amendment, right? So the 7th Amendment really says at common law, civil suits in controversy of $20 or more, a jury trial shall remain intact.
Right.
And then it also talks about kind of what we were talking about with the 4th and 6th Amendment with in criminal trials, the right to an attorney.
Yes.
In a civil trial, you don't have the right to counsel.
Right.
And
Yes.
that's one of the biggest things that we need to take away from this understanding of the difference between a civil suit and a criminal suit.
Yes.
And the main reason that it's inapplicable is because mainly the court has said, look, this doesn't apply.
Right.
Nobody has a right to an attorney in a civil suit because there's such a vast swath of civil possibilities, right? The legal community would be overwhelmed if everybody under the sun said, oh, well, you know what, there was an assault.
Right.
Therefore, I now can bring a civil suit because there was an assault. Not necessarily a battery, but just an assault.
Right.
Because you can have an assault without a battery.
Yep.
And you can have a battery without an
Without
assault.
an assault. Yeah.
But if everybody who was assaulted said, oh, well, I can bring a civil suit now, the legal community would be overwhelmed, bar none, right? The legal community can barely withstand what it has now.
Yeah.
So in that kind of rationale is why the 7th Amendment really hasn't been incorporated to the states, because the states, you can bring pretty much any suit, right? So when you're talking about the federal government versus the state government and what lawsuits can be brought, the state government is far, far, far more lenient in its suits, whereas the federal government, there's pleading standards, right?
Right.
So it's a probability standard in the federal government. Like, is it probable this happened or not?
Right.
And then you also have, in the federal government, you can't file a lawsuit unless it's $75,000 or more. If it's less than $75,000, you ain't bringing it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the 7th Amendment's applicability kind of begins and ends. with the states. As the states allow a very large swath of civil suits that come in anyway,
Right.
but it's on the individual claimant or petitioner or plaintiff, however you want to say it, to bring the suit and kind of fund the suit till its end. Now, if it's big enough, you can ask for attorney's fees, and
Yeah.
the wronging party or the wronged party can get their attorney paid for, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the rundown on the Seventh Amendment.
And nothing else follows.
Do I?
I said, and nothing else follows. Hey,
Really, it doesn't, because
Yeah.
it doesn't apply. So we kind of go into the Eighth Amendment, right? And
Yep.
Eighth Amendment is excessive bail and fines and unreasonable punishments, right? Cruel and unusual punishments.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of argument that could go against cruel and unusual punishment. Really, it's kind of an objective view. Like, what would society view as cruel and unusual?
Right. So, for example, let's say somebody set somebody else on fire. Would it be justifiable to set them on fire, or do they need to go serve a life sentence?
See, and that's more like the eye for an eye
Eye
type.
for an eye, exactly.
And we have gone away from that, and we really haven't done that since about early 19th century.
Right.
So, mid-19th century, right? So you're talking
1850.
1860s,
Yeah.
between 1850 and 1875, right? We got away with a lot of that through Reconstruction.
Right.
They're like, hey, we need to get away from this, like, tarring and feathering and
Right.
Yeah. Quartering.
Yeah.
Like, that was bad. And I think quartering was gotten away with a lot longer ago. But I mean, like, so like a life in prison for a parking ticket, right? If you got life in prison for a parking ticket, that would be cruel and unusual, because the ends doesn't justify the means, right?
Right. You're
So-
parking on public property
well,
and didn't pay a fine.
but who decides that?
So, really, we as a country decide that, and a lot of that has to do with sentencing guidelines, right?
Yes.
So, sentencing guidelines are legislation put forth.
Okay.
So we contact in a perfect vacuum, right?
Yeah.
We contact our legislators. Our legislators say, "Hey, look, we're going to get rid of tar and feathering. We're going to get rid of quarter and drawing. We're going to get rid of lynching. We're going to get rid of the gamut, right?"
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of it still down to firing squad,
Yeah.
lethal injection. Those have come up quite a bit over the last couple of years. Of like, hey, is this cruel and unusual? Even the death penalty in general has been
Yeah.
questioned
Yeah.
a lot, and I can't.
I think the death
personally
penalties-
get behind that.
Yeah.
If you murder somebody, you need to be murdered.
And see, there's the caveat, because me personally, I think if you murder someone, especially if it's in a torturous way, you don't deserve to die. You deserve to suffer.
Well,
But
but what's suffering, right?
Suffering?
At whose expense do they suffer?
Yeah, because we suffer
There-
too for them to suffer.
Right. Because we got to pay for it.
Look.
Literally.
Hand me some knives. Hand me some cattle prods, and I'll take care of it at no cost. Don't worry.
Right.
Well,
So then you're going into more of a
Torturous type.
torture and revenge scenario.
And see, that's it. Which the root of it all comes down to morals.
Well, no,
That's why
no,
we
it
have.
doesn't.
That's why we have laws and.
No, laws don't see morals.
No.
Well,
They see ethics.
Moral law sees morals, but not our
Well, no.
laws.
There's quite a few, and
Yeah.
I mean,
But
more than
morally,
100 cases. That,
we have laws because of morals, because we know that it's wrong to kill somebody, so we have to have.
I knew it would happen. You're banging. 'Cause you're hitting the surface. You got to stop hitting the surface.
Whatever I said excited my microphone. But
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
It is St. Patrick's Day. A redhead must have walked by.
Yeah. It might have seen one or two that I have in my beard and hair, but whatever.
but I mean, laws essentially are based off of morals. So we know it's wrong to kill somebody. So we have a law that says you must be punished for killing somebody.
Right.
You read that?
Yeah. I'm going to address that.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Curtis, he's going to address you.
So, while I do agree that the death penalty, so the question was, or statement rather, that was posed was, death penalty is so costly in legal fees and court costs, and that the cost is borne by the taxpayers. And while that's correct,
Yes.
kind of like what we were saying, right?
Yeah.
At what cost
Right.
do we drag it out?
Right. But
Right.
But here's my question. Does it cost more to go ahead and get rid of them, or does it cost more to keep them in prison for life?
Normally, they serve a long sentence before we ever get rid of them. Though.
Well, the reason they serve such a long sentence is because of the appeals process.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you start at the trial court level at the state, so from there you go to the court of appeals, the criminal court of appeals.
I struggle with this idea because I think that
It's interesting. This is a very interesting aspect of the law.
yeah.
Those types of appeals are interesting because of the route that they take.
Yeah.
And why it can take 20 plus years.
But I've also seen people on death row that have been proven eventually innocent
Yeah.
due to DNA.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, and that's part of the problem, right? So there has been so many people that have come back and said, hey, that have been exonerated on DNA.
Right.
But as Brandon was saying, they're afforded due process. So
Yes.
they're given procedural due process and substantive due process rights.
Right.
So the procedural due process is you start at the trial court, you go to the criminal court of appeals, you go to the state Supreme Court.
Right.
From there, you can either appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Right.
If you don't get that, then you can go to the federal district court.
Yes.
And then you basically restart the whole thing all over again. You go from the district court to the appeals court to the Supreme Court.
Side note.
Yeah.
So per the Constitution, we have a right to a fast and speedy trial.
Yes.
That doesn't happen anymore
Um.
because it's
Well,
objective.
here's the problem with that.
I tried that and it took 3 years.
Yeah, it's objective
So-
as to what's fast and speedy.
No, so a speedy trial was language that was put in the Constitution when there was what? 1 million people in the country?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. But 300,
I mean, it's like
300 million's a
million
lot
less
more.
than us.
Right? So when you have that many people and you have that many by the very nature of numbers, when you
Got another question. Is the physical tactics used in question, say, a murder, cruel and unusual? So are you talking about murder?
like the type of murder, I'm gonna need some.
Psychological.
I think this is going.
So-
this
so, okay,
is
so-
going towards an eye
tactics
for an eye.
used.
Well,
So
no,
intention versus,
Well, so with crime, you've
yeah.
got the actus reus and you've got the mens reus, right? So the action and then the mental desire behind it, right? The mental intent.
But that would be why they have
That's
first,
the
second,
mens
third
res.
degree type murders, right?
Well, no, that's just the type of murder it was, or
But one's thought out, one's premeditated, one is
right.
emotional.
So there's different degrees
One is
that the state's going to have to
unintentional
prove. But no
Okay.
matter what, in this aspect, you're talking you have to prove not only the action,
Right.
but you have to prove the intent behind it as well, right? That's the actus reus
Yeah.
and the mens reus. Those two things have to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt by the state.
I have a question. What determines whether or not the death penalty comes into play? Like, at what point
I
does it
believe
cross that
it's
line?
First, it's capital murder. So, a capital crime is there was a robbery, and you killed somebody in the commission of that other crime.
Okay.
Right. So it's a capital crime. There had to be a multitude of crimes.
But when you
But
say
also-
crime, you mean like
Not misdemeanors. There's not a
No.
capital misdemeanor,
Like
right?
it's absolutely in the penal code,
Right.
The state penal code, like
Okay.
murder. One that like Alabama has that won't get you the death penalty is heat of passion provocation,
Right.
right? So
Emotional.
heat.
Okay. All right.
So
I'm listening.
heat of passion provocation basically means like you caught your spouse in the act of adultery,
Well, have y'all seen the recent video of this guy that's out on
and then
his,
it's reduced to manslaughter.
Have you seen the video of the guy that's in his driveway? He's wearing a robe. The dude has drank a lot of beer, has a shotgun, loads it, and tells his wife as she's recording, "You're about
saw
to
that.
meet your maker."
Oh, yeah,
And
shoots her with a
3
shotgun?
times with a shotgun.
Yeah, and he only got 10
But-
years.
Yes, because he caught her cheating.
Well, so we'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
Brandon has a question here.
All right, what's he say?
Brandon
said-
don't talk to us that much.
I
Why
know.
is he talking so much on Facebook?
Jeez, Brandon.
Jeez. Hey, we're cousins.
Call me more often. I'll
Right.
answer your questions.
Jeez.
Well, I would say having, say, someone who is mentally competent or coerced, not mentally, Jesus, the bar got in my way. Not mentally competent or coerced into admitting a crime. The Brandon Avery case in Wisconsin, I think, is an example of this.
Okay, so the Brandon Avery case has been debunked about 13 different times.
Hold on, just for the record, our cousin's last name is not Avery. His name is Brandon, but it's not Avery.
Yeah.
Yeah, you fucker.
So
This is only for Brand. That's only for Brandon, by the way.
the thing with the Brandon Avery case was, I mean, they caught that guy 7 ways to Sunday and back,
Yeah.
and then he tried to lie his way out of it. Tried to claim mental incompetence and coercion, right? And we kind of hit on this the last time. What the police are allowed to do,
Right.
And they can question you. That's why the two things you say when the cops question you is,
Yeah.
I invoke my right to remain silent, and I want an attorney.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Don't say a dang
Again and again and again.
There's nothing else you can say.
No.
Until your attorney is present.
Yeah. And even then,
Your
you don't
attorney
say
tells
anything.
You what to say.
Exactly. Or we're going to sit here and stare at each other until we get tired, and we're going to go home.
Yeah. Were you there on January 6th?
And there have been people that have been convicted of insanity for doing that.
Right.
Right? And walked out and been like, all's good in the hood. I mean, look at OJ.
Wow. Yeah.
The glove didn't fit.
If the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
Well, that's why I always carry an extra glove around.
Yep.
I'm just saying. Throw it on the ground and walk out. Yeah.
Right? Well, Brandon got us sidetracked. And I
Yes,
can't
yeah.
remember where
he
we
does
were.
that, dude. He's an asshole sometimes, but we love him.
He's gonna flip you off again.
I know.
All right.
So-
So excessive bail. So
Yeah.
we hit cruel and unusual punishment. Let's go to excessive bail.
Yes,
Right? Excessive bail is
I'll get it.
in relation to the crime committed. So, in it, I believe there's guidelines for this state. I think every state has different guidelines for it, and there is some discretion by the court and what they can do. So, but like what would be excessive is like petty theft, right? You get hauled in for petty theft, and then the court says bail's $500,000.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't meet the crime committed, right? If you run up to Burger King over here and you steal a fucking Whopper or whatever the hell they
Yeah.
have, and then you get a $500,000 bond, that's excessive.
But I mean, like that's the same thing. Like, who determines that? Like,
Well, I mean, the legislatures do.
I know, but like, here's the problem with the legislators, right? And I found this to be a problem lately. Like, since 1913, the whole system has changed, right? And that's what I have a problem with, is that they don't need us to fund anything that they do anymore. Because the Federal Reserve Act was signed and they can borrow as much money as they want
Well, no.
as long as they all agree together.
I think Citizens United did far more damage than the Federal Reserve did.
Citizens United before the Federal Reserve was there.
Well, Citizen United was like a 2012 case, but that was the political PACs,
Okay.
right? And where
So what I'm saying is, like, before 1913, the whole government was different. Like, everything came from the taxpayer dollars, and the government had to listen to the people in order to be able to do anything that they wanted to do, right? It was
Yeah.
very strict until they were able to borrow as much money as they wanted, and then Congress could decide whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah, and I think that was the passage of the 16th Amendment, right? The taxation amendment.
I know we're not there yet, but it's
No, we're not there yet, but I mean that's kind of what you're talking about. I think that's about the time frame. I think it was 1915 is when the 16th Amendment was passed. But that's really when, and I agree with you, that's when things started to go downhill, right? As far as legislatures go and their ability to borrow money. And the federal government is so drastically different from the state government in that they don't actually have to have a budget.
yeah.
Right, where the state has to have a budget and they have to meet it and they can't exceed it, or there's plus or minus 5% or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever they have in reserve in the coffers, if you will. But the federal government's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Like they can just borrow,
Yeah,
print,
and that's
print,
what I
print.
don't like, because they can do
Well,
whatever
nobody
they
does
want.
because that's why nobody can afford anything
But
now.
that was the whole reason behind the Federal Reserve was, to allow the government to be able to fund more entities. Yeah. Sorry, Bauer sent this. But
Citizens United. So basically, what Citizens United said was that people, corporations, it is their political contributions is protected under the First Amendment. It's freedom of speech, right? So money is protected under the First Amendment, like how we spend our money. Now, that's a little bit of a stretch because what this case said is corporations have it. But once you start boiling that back a little bit, you start to go, okay, well, who's the corporation? Is, Mead Talk LLC a corporation or Mead Talk Inc.? Okay, well, who is Mead Talk Inc.? Well, it's Matt and Rob, right? Matt and Rob are the people. So you're saying that because you went down to the Secretary of State and you paid $150 business privilege tax, you now have constitutional rights where other people don't. That's not how it works, right? There's this principle called over-inclusive and under-inclusive, which basically means that under the 14th Amendment, and we haven't got there yet, like when we get to the 14th, that might have to be a single
Just
one in
Mead
of
Talk.
itself because there is so much to unpack just in the first clause of the 14th Amendment and what it does and how insanely strong it is. But what Citizens United was saying is that we have a First Amendment right to speech. Money is speech. Just like right to association, right? We all have the right to associate with whom we want.
yeah. Okay. I do.
You're welcome, Curtis.
Brandon said, but would that not deter crime and lower taxes? Brandon, specify what you're talking about there.
Would what not deter crime?
That's what I'm not. I know he was cluing it. Hey, we're a little bit delayed on the live feeds, so you got to be very specific. But yes. Okay, so we're still in the 8th Amendment, right?
Yeah, we haven't got past the 8th.
We're almost halfway through.
We're almost halfway through.
Yeah.
And I mean, like we did excessive fines,
Higher bond.
cruel and unusual punishment. I think we're up to the 9th Amendment now.
He was talking about higher bond. It was like 20 minutes ago. He's cluing in from 20 minutes. So yeah,
Higher bond, would it not? No, I don't think it really would,
No,
because you're only paying 10% when you bond out anyway, right?
Right.
but here's the problem with crime as well as, what determines a crime. Like, I'm under the impression that crime is really just violent crime.
No, dude. Crime is so much.
And that's where
Monetary.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've got fraud,
I'm at. Okay.
right? So you've got forgery. You've got
mostly fraud is looked at against the government, mostly more than like other people.
No, you ever heard of Bernie Madoff?
No. Okay, explain to me.
Did you say burning?
Bernie Madoff,
Okay.
right? Yeah, he defrauded the crap out of a whole lot of people.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
You had to look
yes.
it up.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I mean, what people think of fraud when you're dealing with the government is you think of like wasteful tax spending,
Yeah.
the loopholes, the earmarks going back to states that it's like you're taking from us. You're not giving back to us, but yet you're going kind of like what's happened with right now with illegal immigrations in Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
And not to send you into the friggin' stratosphere on that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
a lot of people think it's fraud, right? You're taking our money that we're working so hard for,
And sending it somewhere else.
and you're incentivizing not only the destruction of our country from within, but you're paying another country's personnel's pensions
Yeah.
with our tax money.
You know, I heard this, and I'm going to say it on Facebook Live, but I heard this. It's not illegal to not pay your taxes. It's illegal not to file your taxes.
I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah. We'll do another Mead Talk now.
It's not tax
Give me
avoidance.
a year and give me a call.
Right, tax avoidance is illegal,
Yeah.
but
You ever heard of Wesley Snipes?
I have, but
How'd that
was
work out for him?
because He
that's a
didn't-
great guy.
Oh, he's a great
But
actor.
he didn't file. That was tax evasion.
Yeah.
Well, if you're not filing,
That's tax
you're not
avoidance.
paying.
But if you file and don't pay, that's two different things.
I mean, no. Yeah.
I believe there was a U.S. Man, then it's escaping my
Every
mind
bit
right
of
now.
dollars that I make is deductible on my taxes, which is really great. I end up with zero in my bank account every single year.
That's what you want it.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm not a CPA, so that's not my bag of tricks, fellas.
He's like, and on to the 9th Amendment. No.
On to the 9th Amendment. We have.
Brandon says, but how much money are we saving on testing new weapons in our outdated military by a proxy war?
First of all, Brandon knows nothing about the military or what we're doing there. He claims to be Army, but he sits around and makes all this money.
And he plays video games.
And
all
he
day.
plays video games all the time. Here comes another finger.
He's about to retire from the military.
He is. He's gonna do
You know,
pretty
we
good.
joined the same year.
Yes, I know.
So if I was in, I'd
You'd be retiring.
facts, all assumptions.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love how it's facts, all assumptions.
I'd be retiring. Yeah, I knew it was coming. We'd be retiring same year.
What year did you join?
2007.
He's
Seven.
6
So
months
just
older
3
than
years.
He's got 3 years left.
Yeah.
you. He's 6 months older than you.
Yep. Just a little bit older than me.
A little fun fact. In December would be my 20.
Yeah.
December 7th
Wow.
would be my 20. And I graduate December 5th.
Ooh.
You were bootstrapped, ready to go.
The last 20 years have been busy, fellas, let me tell you.
I bet.
This is 12
We'll have
years
to get
active
Brandon
duty.
on for, just a military one.
We do need to get him on, but he needs to get his ass down here.
I know, right?
Yeah,
I don't
he's
even know
in
where he's at
Oklahoma.
anymore.
Last I heard.
He was in Hawaii last I do.
No, he moved back to Oklahoma.
Jeez,
He's stationed
he's all
there,
over the
just
place.
sitting around. Doing
Yeah.
nothing,
What'd they
driving
say-
his Mercedes.
What did they say came out of Oklahoma? What comes out of Oklahoma? There's only two
Retards
things:
and- wait.
steers and what?
Yeah. There's gonna be another finger. No.
January 25th, 2000, and 2 wars. I love this shit.
Kurt. So
Curtis Bauer.
Curtis is an army guy.
who does anybody know who Curtis is
I do.
personally?
No.
You do?
Yeah,
Wait.
he's my buddy.
Oh, he's your buddy.
Okay.
Okay, Curtis. So you know that guy personally.
That's why he's all.
Oh, yeah, he's all up in this.
All right, Dan.
So what branch?
All
What
right,
branch were
Curtis.
you in, Curtis?
He was Army Intel.
Army
okay.
Intel.
So he knew what I was doing.
He knew where you were pooing.
Yeah. Probably on the streets of Iraq. That's where I was pooing. I'm just going to throw that out there. I mean, there's a few times where I squatted on the sidewalk, right?
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
mean, there's-
Nobody showed up behind you with a plastic bag to pick it up.
No.
Okay.
No, they did not.
That's why I don't do that with my dogs.
No, we
Right.
relied on the sun to dry it up and the
They
rain
don't
to wash
own
it
me.
away.
I own them. Curtis, we appreciate your service, brother.
Yes.
And I know our cousin Brandon Wallace is in the Army. We appreciate his service, but he's family, so we like to fuck with him.
Yeah, for sure.
He hadn't been down here to visit recently. There he is, already saying shit.
There were a few things I just.
Absolutely. I got, I was off the coast of North Carolina. We were about 150 miles off doing fisheries boardings.
Wait. Fisheries boardings?
Fisheries boardings.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
We were mostly looking for cocaine. Let's
Yeah.
just be real.
I mean,
That's pretty popular out there for fishing.
Yeah. Oh, big
Yeah.
time. They were taking it up to New York, and we were just,
Yeah.
we just happened to be there. And I got woken up at about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Man, I was out. And I got, hey, Bo, get up. We got to go get this boat. And I'm like, why? Why? Where are we?
Right.
Oh, we're about 150 miles off the coast. Who cares? Why are we like? All right, I'll be up in a minute. I'll get dressed and I walk up to the flying bridge and they got
Yeah.
the big brief and they go, okay, we got intel. I'm like, cool. What intel do you have?
Yep.
Who's on the boat? Where did it come from? What does it have on board? We didn't get that from Intel. Like so what did you get from Intel? There's a boat coming this way. I'm like, outstanding. Gotta love Intel.
Yeah. I'm glad you know, Curtis.
He wasn't my Intel guy. I'd have punched him in the face.
Brandon said, I've always wanted to catch a kilo, and I said, haven't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good payday right there. I mean,
I actually destroyed a boat in Morehead City, North Carolina, over a crack pipe.
ooh.
It was a fishing boat, and I wrecked this thing to 7 ways to Sunday and back and didn't find anything. But I wrecked a $2 million fishing boat.
Yeah.
I cut it with a Sawzall, sledgehammer,
Nice.
jackhammer, you name it, I had it.
But you were thorough.
Huh?
You were thorough.
You did your
Oh, yeah, dude, I
investigation.
destroyed it.
So,
And then I gave him a slip and said, sorry, the taxpayers will buy you a new boat.
Right?
I didn't find anything, my
so
bad.
Don't go just, sailing on the sea. That's what happens, apparently.
Right. The Coast Guard, when you go out on the boat, the rules are not the same. Yeah. And I've had so many people be like, you're just
you're
a
not
cop.
in the United States, right? You're like
Well, it depends on where you are, right?
how far out you are.
Right, so if you're beyond 3 miles, Uncle Sam owns you.
You need another.
No, not right
Okay.
now.
Need
Yes.
a water.
Yeah.
What?
Wow. It took a second for him to change his mind, man.
Yes, please.
So we just went on a cruise a couple weeks ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so have you ever been on a cruise?
Not the pleasurable kind. No, not like that either. Mine was all on military ships.
Right. So we went on a cruise, and you know, I got a drinking package, and if you read the the fine print for that
The fine
package
print.
is you have to pay taxes if you're in U.S. territory.
Well, so the funny thing about U.S. territory is the U.S. only recognizes 12 miles off another country's coast.
So I asked them because I've got 15 drinks a day for free. How far out do we have to be before I can get a drink without paying taxes? Oh, it's not far. I was like, no, I need specifics. Y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all. And they're, oh, it's not far. I was like, I need more. About 45 minutes. I was like, okay. So I counted, waited, and hey, if I get a drink right now, are you going to charge me taxes? Yeah. How much longer do I have? About 15 minutes. Okay. So I'll go up to the next bar. Hey, I'm going to order a drink. You going to charge me taxes? No, you're good.
Yeah. So, and I think it's, if memory serves properly, and it's been years since I've looked at it, state waters is mean high tide to 3 miles. 3 to 12 is territorial waters.
Yeah.
12 to 24 is customs. And then 24 to 200 is what they consider the exclusive economic zone.
Like the international waters.
I might be missing international waters. Might be 24 to 36 is international waters. Like I said, it's been so long since I've
Yeah.
seen it.
'Cause we
But
went-
there are definitive like delineations
borders. Yeah.
in distance offshore.
So we went from Jacksonville to the Bahamas.
Right. And it once you get 24 nautical miles isn't that far. This is the slowest 45 minutes of my life waiting on that drink.
Yeah. Dude, Brandon just cracked on you hard. He said you took way too long.
Dude, it wasn't me.
Hey, like he's been here before to know how far we have to go.
No. I gotta walk like 100 meters that way and get a drink poured that is foamy as hell and doesn't want to pour right. Who's breathing over there?
That's Anna. There's
That's
Anna. Anna's.
Anna, come
Anna's
on.
had
Hey,
3
we have
meats.
children on here, Anna. Come on
Yes. Anna.
We're off the. Oh.
now. Live right now, girl.
Jennifer, did you coerce her to do that? When you two get together, it's nothing but chaos.
Not yet. Soon.
Wait, what did that sound like? Do that one more time.
I thought these guys over here were just like snoring.
There she is.
Yep.
So let's go. let's move on to the Ninth Amendment.
Hey, oh shit, we're just getting to the ninth. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Bottom of the ninth. Here we go.
the bottom of the ninth.
So the Ninth Amendment is an interesting one. That's kind of like a free for all,
Yeah.
if you will, right? It says that the rights that aren't enumerated in this Constitution aren't the only ones that exist.
Which is interesting.
And we, the people, get to say what rights we have. Case in point, right to privacy.
Yeah.
That's not in the Constitution. Nowhere in the Constitution does it textually say that we have the right to privacy.
Right.
Okay.
Yet,
Okay.
we do.
Okay.
And a lot of the LGBTQIA plus minus hashtag,
Yes.
those rights come from the Ninth Amendment too.
Right.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because it's non-textual. Just because it's not in the Constitution doesn't mean it doesn't exist. That's where they got abortion from with Roe v. Wade. They pulled it off of Griswold v. Connecticut. Griswold v. Connecticut is the one that is the case that said that we have a right to privacy.
Okay.
that's where Roe v. Wade kind of piggybacked on. They said, well, hey, under Griswold v. Connecticut, you have the right to privacy. If you have the right to privacy, then you have the right to dictate what happens to your body. Logical, it's reasonable. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it was for a long time. I think it was last year they finally overturned that.
No, it was 2 years ago, I think. Maybe three.
Oh, yeah, we're in 24. It was in 22.
Yeah, 22.
It's March. By like October, I'll recognize it as
Look,
24.
we'll have a new president next year.
Hopefully.
If not, the
All hell
South
will
shall
break loose.
rise again.
So Curtis said, I have the fundamental right to parent my child as I see fit under the 9th Amendment. Which I agree.
No, he doesn't.
Take that up with the state.
No, it's under the 14th Amendment. It's under the Equal Protection Clause.
Why do we keep going to the 14th Amendment tonight?
I know, dude. Obviously, the 14th Amendment.
It's big.
When we get Bo back, it's just going to go from 7, 8, 9 to
wait a
14.
minute.
Well, no. We got to hit 11.
Wait
Okay.
a minute. What were the original amendments before we added anything on?
The 10.
There was
So
10
that's
amendments.
all we need to go back to. We don't need to add no more.
Well-
but they exist. We could go all the way back to the Second Amendment and talk about that one if we need to.
Yeah, we'll go back to the second. While you could certainly make the argument that under the 9th Amendment you have a fundamental right to your children.
But they're another person.
Huh?
But they're another person.
But they're considered property until they're 18.
Yes.
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 They have to be because they can't
That's where I don't like this whole, like, the United States is a corporation and they own us and we own things. I don't like that idea.
I don't like it either. And really, it's under the Social. I wish we
the
could
Social
absolutely
Security
repeal
situation.
the Social Security Act.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
It needs to be gone.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
That made us not people.
Well,
That's what I'd read earlier. Yeah.
Wait. Your Honor, Brandon Wallace, what are you knowing?
what are you knowing?
He's knowing to the person who to Curtis.
Is he knowing to Curtis? We got two Army guys
here
up
we go.
Yeah, I
against
think
each
so.
other.
The court has frequently emphasized the importance of the family, the rights to conceive. You gotta chill, dude. Conceive and raise one's children. Gosh dang it.
Stop.
Being deemed essential. Meyer versus Nebraska. Blah 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 blah. Basic civil rights of man. Skinner versus Oklahoma. Stanley versus Illinois.
Stanley v. Illinois. Right.
Let me
Like I said.
let me intervene on this one real quick for Curtis. I'm going to give him a scenario. Shall I?
Okay.
Okay, Curtis. So I have 4 stepchildren. 2 of them, their father is in their life. He's a good father. We keep them 1 week. Their father keeps them the other week. 2 of the others that are here right now, so I have to be careful about what I say, have an asshole father. A father that I would like to talk to man to man. But I can't.
Don't say anything too much on recording, Robert.
But I can't because
This is on the interwebs.
it is that I would like to talk to man, but I can't because I fear for their safety.
That's an inference.
Now I can give you facts. The facts are he's a woman abuser. That's facts. It's documented. Albeit long ago. And he is trying to change. But the problem is, now that they're outside, he is trying to convince them that I am not a dad. I cannot be a dad because I've never had children. So,
What's the question?
why would he have more rights than me? Me that pays for a house for them, for a bed, for food, for this, for that. And
Okay.
don't give me DNA because That's BS. And don't give me sperm donor because that's BS. Because I've been in their lives longer than I have factually been in their lives longer than he has. And he gave them a speech today saying that I am not their dad. I will never be their dad. And he doesn't even know if I want children.
That's an issue.
Per their biological father.
Dude, I struggled with that for years.
We can
Still-
talk about that.
We
Still
can
do
we
that.
can we can talk about that because
Yes.
there's a delineation there.
So-
now you said don't give you DNA, don't give you sperm donor, and that BS.
Right.
There's and here's where I'd like to take it
Okay.
and kind of bring it back into right field, or even center right, if we will. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all agree that there are. Let's just make it dichotomous. A good father and a bad father. Mm-hmm. A good father has rights to his children. Mm-hmm. A bad father, regardless of whether he's bad, still has rights.
Yes.
Now, there are ways that you can remove those rights,
Yes.
and that's the way that it should be gone about. Because the psychological damage of the children in the long term is what is the main goal.
Obviously,
the mental health
The
aspect.
concern of the children is
but who
the concern.
But who gets
Mikey,
that say?
we love you.
See you, brother.
Who gets that decision? That's the tricky part.
Well, from where we stand, the courts get that decision. The judge gets that decision.
But the judge 9 out of 10 times can't make that dichotomous decision because they all get blended into one.
Yes.
So the good father instantaneously becomes the bad father because the bad father is the one that is closest to your thoughts, right? So to say that you don't get rights just because you're bad or just because you're good, there should be a change in how it's adjudicated. Now, whether you have a right under the 9th Amendment or whether you have the right under the 14th Amendment, I really don't believe it's up for debate. I believe you can make the argument under the 9th Amendment, and some states are the U.S. Supreme Court has really kind of tapped into that,
Right.
through like Stanley v. Illinois, Quillian v. Walcott,
Right.
and I think Quillian v. Walcott.
I see that's like
It was a bad father, but they still said, hey, you still have rights because without you, these kids don't exist. So there is the DNA aspect there that you can't get away from.
yes, but
Which we really wish we could have somebody else on for the DNA aspect of it.
yes,
She doesn't do that.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
I know we tried,
Yeah.
but
She
I mean,
can't drink
it's-
3 meads. They should be sitting up here just staring at you like,
You want to know where it is?
it's in you.
I don't believe it.
You want to know where it is?
Dude, 3 meads and she is done, I promise
Yeah.
you.
But hey, very, very interesting what she does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. By the way, we're talking about Bo's wife.
Yeah.
We tried to get her on here. She is actually she's the only one that her job said, nope, can't happen, ain't gonna
Yeah.
happen,
Yeah.
because of what she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Too
so
incriminating.
Yes.
it is. And, there's a lot of politics that go into that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's mostly what
We
it
know.
is,
Yeah.
though.
That's, yeah. Most things today are politics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was political to get you on stage.
It was,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on an email.
right? It's crazy. It's crazy. So, we're still in the 9th Amendment, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we done with the 9th Amendment? Is there more?
I guess I had.
Yeah, I mean the Ninth Amendment is just non-enumerated rights.
Curtis says
Uh-oh.
Killian versus Walcott
Yes,
was
that's-
a Georgia case where the father wasn't at all involved,
I'll have to look that up.
and Walcott adopted.
And if it involved a
Cleon's son.
Louisville Slugger, I mean,
So, yeah. I mean, I could go into my situation as well, but I'm not going to do that here because just due to time.
time restraints.
Time.
Yes.
Time restraints. But, there's a lot
Yeah,
to
it-
say about a lot of that stuff.
You know,
but
Matt has had a biological child with his wife that
Yeah.
has other children. I have not. We were at the age where that was not plausible, and
which, is,
Understandable.
yes,
is totally fine.
But it's also it's a personal decision you have to make, and it,
and
Yeah.
not. I mean, we tried, but
Oh,
it
yeah.
just time.
time.
yeah.
Now, had we met 10 years prior,
Pink Floyd did a great rendition of Time.
right? I know somebody that loves Pink Floyd, and that's your father-in-law. Because your father-in-law absolutely loves Pink Floyd.
Godsmack did an even better version.
Yes, that's true. Why? What do you? Is that Brandon?
No. It's the Mead Talk. I'm just listening to it. It's
That's-
pretty good. Live, I'm listening to it.
That's concerning.
It's pretty awesome.
Seeing as you're on it,
Yeah. It's pretty
that's
great.
like. I'm not gonna say that.
So let's go
10th.
10th.
All right, are we actually on the 10th? That's
10th.
pretty far.
I mean, I
We've
know,
gone pretty
I know,
far.
we're trying to keep it to an hour, but let's be honest.
I thought it was going to be 2.
I think that. I think.
You thunk?
Look,
thunk.
it's St. Patrick's Day,
It is.
and yeah,
Do you have a little bit of Irish in you?
I'm trying to.
No. Would you like some? No, you've already been in. No, wait. Can't say that. Can't say that.
Trying to get some luck at the Irish here.
I've already had some.
Yeah. He has. He took a little bit with him. All right. His wife's
Brandon says Robert's old. Question mark, question mark.
Robert's old. You're old.
awesome. What the? Hey.
What the
get
front
out of
door?
Oklahoma and come down here and we'll talk, cuz.
It's not gay if you're underway.
Oh God. It's only queer if you're at the pier.
Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree. I don't know.
That's what I heard all the time.
So,
Hey,
so
Brandon, you've been challenged. Come down here, you queer.
come down here on a Sunday night and we'll get you on Mead Talk
Oh yeah.
to talk just military stuff.
Hey, get 3 meads in you, Brandon, and we'll go intellect. Let's go.
Yeah. I don't even has Brandon even had the meats?
No. Yes,
wait
he
a minute.
has, He has.
I think he has.
We sent like
We
15
sent a
bottles with
fif-
mom and dad
a whole
to a
bunch of
camping site,
bottles. A
and they
whole
were
bunch.
gone that night.
Yes, Curtis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, I know your arm looks nothing like that, so stop trying to front. Wait, who invited him, by the way?
I think-
Facebook Live.
Yeah, Facebook Live. It wasn't Bo.
No.
Like, who invited this asshole? Love you, Brandon. Tell Angela and the kids I said, hey.
Angela's on here too, I think. Yeah, I think they're both watching it, sitting next to each other on the couch. Yeah, that's great. So,
I don't think there's really any more rights that I can think of off the top of my head that have been enumerated under the Ninth Amendment.
yeah,
But really, it can be anything.
yeah, that's a little vague,
It is.
you know, and
It
I
is.
don't really like that. I like concise, like,
Well, so the rationale behind it,
yeah,
right? If you read the Federalist Papers.
yeah. Okay, wait a minute though, but that's outside the Constitution, ain't it?
Well, no, because that's what was used to advertise and articulate what they were.
I mean, that was a part
Yeah,
of the construct of the Constitution.
But
Yeah.
well, it was an explanation of what the Constitution
But who wrote
was.
the Nationalist Papers?
Huh?
Who wrote the papers?
John Jay.
And
Adams.
John Adams and
Ben J.
Alexander Hamilton. You want to look it up?
No,
I know you do.
No, I believe you.
I don't know. I'm calling him on his bluff. No. I mean, he didn't just go through law school or anything.
But what I'm saying is like, why does that have a say
So
if it's not actual, like actual.
So it goes to the explanation of the Constitution, right?
Right.
And what I guess
Jeremy,
I'm trying
settle
to,
down.
I guess what I'm trying to articulate is the reason that it was put in there, and it is vague, and it's vague for a reason. It was so that our government couldn't say, well, you only have XYZ rights. The rest belong to me.
Right.
And then they just went off and did their own thing.
Yes.
Which
As
they
they
pretty
still
much
do.
have anyway.
Yeah.
But those who know their rights and can stand upon their rights
Yeah.
have them.
See, this is
And see that, and I don't agree with that. Like you have to enforce your rights or stand upon your rights, as they say, in order to
Exercise.
stand upon,
Yeah.
exercise, in order to have them.
Jeremy. Go.
I gotta step out.
Go away, Jeremy.
You all right there?
I think so.
So to say that it's too vague would be to say that we have enough rights, we don't need any more.
And see, I completely disagree with that.
Right.
Like,
And that's why we need the Ninth Amendment that says these aren't enumerated rights,
Right.
but we the people say we have them.
Yes.
Right? Look at the TikTok ban that's going on right now.
I don't have TikTok. I don't
So
know.
evidently there's like 170 million Americans that are on this app.
Okay. Yes, I believe it. Yeah.
That's over half the country.
Yes.
And you have a government that doesn't want you to have it.
Yeah. That's okay.
Right? You can see the inherent problem there, right? If you have half of your country communicating and you're saying, oh, well, there's an adversarial government that's stealing your data. You are stealing. Have you ever heard of the Patriot Act? You've been
Yes.
stealing that shit for a long time.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you care?
Yep.
But the problem with it is so many people communicate on a daily basis and they can't control the narrative. So if you can't control the narrative and there's information getting out that you don't want to get out, what's your only recourse? Well, take away your communication device.
And that's violating.
Oh, it's
The First
violating just
Amendment.
about every principle of freedom and liberty you have. But where people are starting to wake up, and a lot of people in this country are waking up to the crap that goes on in D.C.
Yes.
On a biblical scale.
Can we thank Oliver Anthony for some of that?
I mean, we can.
Look, I've seen people I never would have thought singing that song. Like, that's a good song.
It's a good song. And the reason it's a good song is because so many people feel it.
Yes,
They're
relate.
like, you're spot on.
Right.
You're 100% on.
Like, when I go to buy eggs, I don't want to pay $16 for 12 eggs. And then I try to get chickens, and the city tells me I can't have them because it's a violation of some fucked up code. Like,
Some ordinance, yeah.
yeah. And by the way, an ordinance is not a law.
Tacitly, it is.
It's not.
It
but
is.
it's not.
But it is.
But you can do technicalities, but an ordinance, it's called an ordinance for a reason. Am I right?
Well,
It goes
you're
off of
getting
something
you're
else.
getting into
I'm
you're
being
getting more
nitpicky.
into the nuances of governance.
I'm being nitpicky. Yes.
Right. So an ordinance at the local level has to comply with the state law, and it has
Yes.
to comply with the federal law.
Right.
Right.
But there are ordinances that don't comply with either.
And those have to be challenged.
Right. But you
I
know
would be
You know the ordinance for Alabaster, for example, if you have chickens?
no. What is it?
You can have them if they have pet names.
If they have pet names,
If they have pet names.
my daughter would give them a pet name,
Oh, absolutely.
without a doubt.
One of mine are going to have pet names. All the eggs that they produce,
Yeah.
they won't. I'll eat them. But my chickens that are producing eggs
Right.
will have pet names.
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's the way it should be.
Along with the 5 dogs that I have, that's going to scare the ever-living eggs out of them to produce so that I have eggs to eat with
On a
my
daily
chickens
basis.
that have pet names. Yes.
Curtis Bauer says, "Where I am mayor, our town allows chickens."
He is actually the mayor of his town.
Wait,
That's
Curtis is a mayor.
fantastic. Where?
And hey, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
It's in Rawland, Iowa.
What the fuck? That doesn't even matter.
It's flat.
He's about to lose his shit.
Roland, Iowa. Here it comes. So,
They just let anybody in there, don't they? No, but that's pretty awesome. Like
Rawland, Iowa's a pretty cool place.
I don't doubt that.
Look,
if
I'm
you allow
debating.
chickens,
I'm debating on whether or not I should get into the government.
Why not?
Yeah, bullshit. 1,053 feet in elevation. That doesn't
Okay.
give me shit. It's
I can-
still flat.
Yes. Evidently, there are hills in Iowa.
No. I've been through there. I haven't seen a single
1,053 feet in 8 miles is not elevation.
I mean, look.
It's a
hey,
it's a 32nd of an
Colorado-
inch per mile.
Look, Colorado is at 5,000 plus feet, but it's all flat. But for the most part, just saying.
But for those parts.
yeah,
In Alabama, we can go from 550 feet elevation to 1,050 in less than a mile.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it recorded. That's what we mountain biked quite a bit.
Yeah.
In Rawland, Iowa, it just takes you about 4 counties.
Curtis is corn-fed, isn't he?
Better watch out. Those cornbread guys are pretty big.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
He's a big son of a bitch.
He probably is.
He is. I bet he is.
He's fucking like genetically altered or not. I'm a big motherfucker. Curtis is probably thinking, you know what? They're assholes, but I fucking love this shit.
So evidently, the way you say this town's name is Roland, Iowa.
I mean, fuck yeah, 6'4", 300 pounds.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm just glad you got off the couch. Wait, no, he's on the internet watching this, huh? Hey, man, more power to you. Appreciate you being here.
Oh, it's a good thing he's Army.
Yeah.
He understands what's going on.
We love Army folks.
Yes.
I mean, I'm Army.
Yeah.
So
I had to grow up with
Look,
them.
I'm not Army anymore. I was Army. Yeah.
Where's Brandon though?
Yeah,
Brandon's got to get in here.
Brandon said he had to grow up with us. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, he did. That he did.
He did. That's why he is what he is. We whooped his ass every day, left, right, south, front, middle.
Yeah.
Actually, we didn't. No, we actually all got along pretty
We all
good.
got along pretty dang good. Yeah. Yeah.
And then Brandon's like, "Oh, I'm in the Army," and then my brother's like, "Oh, I'm in the Army," and I'm like, "Oh, I almost went to the Marines, but I'm not retarded."
Yeah.
So I didn't
You
go to
didn't
the
like
military.
Crayola, did you?
I did not. I was way too smart for that.
So that was the 9th Amendment.
Oh yeah, no, that was the 10th.
The
We went
Ninth
to the
Amendment.
10th.
So the 10th Amendment is.
We went to the 10th. I
No, we
thought.
didn't.
No,
yeah,
we
did.
didn't. Well, we were going to.
Oh,
And then we got on to the mayor of Roland, Iowa.
Yeah.
what the fuck? Why are we talking about some little asshole? Like,
Yeah. You know what, Rob?
last I heard, he was like 6'4", 300. It's cool.
Brandon,
little guy.
Brandon said you're more of a Sharpie man
A what?
than a Crayola.
A Sharpie?
Yeah.
Sharpie,
You're right.
man.
I will sniff the shit out of that. Hey.
So the 10th Amendment says the powers not delegated. And this is where there's a lot of debate.
Oh gosh.
The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. the 10th Amendment typically is seen as state sovereignty.
Right.
So we're going Thomas Hobbes' Leviathan
We're separating the state
from the federal
from the
government
federal government.
and the people.
Yes.
So who's the sovereign?
So I went to court one time in Calera.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
1, 2.
Okay.
Chuck.
So I went to court one time in Calera.
Uh-huh. That is a little dinky-ass municipal court building down there in Calera.
Yeah, let me have this conversation.
And the cops down there are on a power trip from hell.
I will not even get started on Hoover, but let me talk about Calera. I got pulled over
In Calera?
in Calera.
It's typically why you go to Calera Municipal Court.
Yeah.
If I get pulled over in Calera, it's bad news because I
Don't live
That's
anywhere
another Mead
around
Talk.
there. Yeah.
No, it's another Mead Talk. I had some issues. The deck that I installed with a Calera police guy is got pulled over once by him.
They're corrupt. Yeah.
You remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. I heard many, many stories about that. But I got
Yeah.
pulled over in Calera.
It wasn't my fault. It was
Officer
just-
pulls me over.
Yeah.
Hey, let me get your ID. Why are you pulling me over? Your tag's expired. Okay, write me a citation. Let me get your ID. No, just write me a citation. Well, I need to know who you are. You've got it on my tag. You ran the
He
tag.
clearly pulled it up.
Well, do you have insurance? You ran my tag. You know everything you know about me. Just give me a citation. I need to get to work. No, I'm gonna write you 3 citations. Cool. See you in court, bro.
See you in court, homie.
Show up to court. He wasn't there. Judge tells me, you owe $875. I'm like, why? You don't have insurance. I've shown you my proof of insurance. Your tag was expired. Okay.
So my
and-
ad valorem tax is now $800?
Right. I said, okay, and he was like, well, let me call the officer. I might be able to mitigate some of these costs. Let me call the officer. Hey, officer so-and-so, do you remember you pulled over a silver Prius? Yeah, I used to drive a Prius. By the way, I now drive a Ram 1500.
That was a flex right there.
It was. Laramie, 2021. It's gorgeous.
You got the big ass screen?
I do. I got the
Dude,
12
it's
inch.
so big. It's
Is it
ridiculous.
awesome?
It is beautiful.
Like, why do you even need that when you're driving?
Don't
to
ask.
watch a movie?
Yeah, no. To do multiple things at once, man.
Yeah. Like
what?
drive and do other things.
Yes. I have a lot of work I need to do, okay?
I wish I could do both. I wish I could drive and work at the same time.
Tell me more. No.
So Hannah said I could get a truck.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
the one
so-
that can drive itself and do all the work that you can do.
Needless to say,
No, evidently you can drive and do work.
yes. I drove a Prius at the time. Had
I
an
just have to
expired
get a
tag.
job.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
And so, okay, cool. I'm at the courthouse, and I'm like, here's my insurance. Here's my license. Okay, well, I'm going to charge you $175 because you don't have proof of insurance or license. I said, no, here's my license. Here's my insurance. Well, I'm going to, oh, okay. No, you're not.
There you go, Jennifer.
Is your wife in now?
Well, yeah. The worst time to chime in when my husband says, man, it's so big.
Talking about the screen.
Hey, sister.
Yeah.
We're not-
So
We're not there yet.
that is the worst time to chime in because it's not so big,
It's-
I guess. Yeah.
It's not sister.
Yeah. I guess that's what she's saying is
Yeah.
there's not that big. I don't know.
I don't know. I lost train of thought.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
sus.
saw it and I couldn't stop help but laugh.
She said, ew. No, you can't say ew when you say it.
Yeah, that's even worse. Thanks
Yeah.
so much for throwing that out there,
That's,
babe.
yeah.
Hey, did you reach out to Hannah?
It'll be a little bit before we get a response. We should
Yeah,
probably move on.
it'll be a second.
Well, I figured it would be.
It's a little bit.
If I threw it out there,
You did.
then by the
Yeah.
time she answered,
Yeah. Brother Matt.
We'd have
said
an
it.
answer.
Okay, oh, wait.
Hey, Hannah. I don't know if they're.
That's not how he wanted you to reach out to Hannah.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
I was
get
gonna
there.
We could talk about Brandon while we're
R.I.P.
waiting.
to home? What rip to home? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Brandon? What do you mean, rip to home? Are we still on the 10th Amendment?
rip to the homie.
Which homie?
We pretty much. Well, I asked the question,
okay.
and then we went to Calera for some reason.
That's because that's where he was.
Because there's two cities that I hate, Calera and Hoover.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
bar none.
We've heard about Hoover.
Yes, you have.
You really hate Hoover.
Dude.
It's a.
I'll be honest. Every time I drive by one, and one lives in Alabaster, every time I drive by, I give them the one finger salute.
They loved each other's comments. They're good.
All right, they're good.
Oh, hey, okay, Hannah's there. Yeah, cool. Dude, Hannah's creeping on you.
Hannah's creeping on me. She's like, you said you'd be home by 9:30.
Right?
Liar.
You're getting another T-bone. No.
I gave her the other T-bone.
Yeah.
I made her one while she was at her sister's house, so she had it for dinner tonight.
That's called love.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, what else?
What else does this say?
I mean, what more
I
can
cooked
you
her
do?
a potato on a grill
Yes.
and a T-bone.
I mean,
Things
And she
we
wasn't
do.
even
I
here.
know.
The things we do. I don't.
Right?
Men are
crazy.
so thoughtful.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
That's why I
actually like my wife.
I was
why
going to say,
I-
actually, we don't like to get in trouble, so we kind of think ahead.
No, I wouldn't have gotten in trouble.
Well, I always tell my wife that I love her more, right, than she loves me, and she doesn't quite get it.
Yeah.
It's because she doesn't see all the things.
I'm
that are
pretty
good.
sure if I told Hannah that, she might actually stab me.
Yeah.
So it's just like, she's like, I love you. I love you too, honey. And I leave it at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if we got into that, she'd be like, you know what? I'm going to cut you.
Safety
Like,
first.
See, this is why
I'm gonna
this
cut
is, this is why we
and
got
I'm
married.
not gonna leave any DNA behind.
Well, that's why I married her.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Honest to
Yes.
God, my dad asked me one time. He's like, why are you marrying her? I was like, because she's the only woman that can kill me and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's hot.
That's difficult.
And she's actually kind and sweet and awesome all the way
It's
around.
really look. Yeah,
But she
that's-
can kill me and get away with it. And as a man, I find that amazing.
If you ever disappear, I'll never question it. I don't know. A gator got him here
Nope.
in middle Alabama. I don't know, man. I'm just telling you what I think.
Bowen on a
Brandon
sabbatical.
says, "What amendment does that fall under?"
Which one?
I don't-
What?
He's very vague with
He
this
is.
stuff.
He's an Army guy. Just don't pay
Brandon,
attention to
you
him.
got to be more specific, okay?
What does he do? Like,
I'm not telling
does
lies
he
on
sniff
you.
diesel all day? I don't know. Yeah, that was at you, Brandon.
I know some guys. Look, what's funny to me is I know some guys in the Army that would hoorah. What the fuck is that?
What's your wife saying hoorah? That's
I don't-
Marine.
I know.
Oh, when she murders me? Oh, that's under it's under the First Amendment, freedom of speech.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, because she spoke, I didn't listen, and because I didn't listen,
Yeah.
she now reserves the right. And actually, it's under the Ninth Amendment too.
Yes.
So it's 1 and 9.
Yeah.
and I
Hey, babe.
deserved it.
Baby, just so you know, it's hua. Hua. That's Army infantry.
Hua is Army. Hoorah is Marines.
Yeah. So it's all good.
Brandon's laughing. Good
Yeah,
for him.
we'll get there. We'll get there. So 10th Amendment. What's the 10th Amendment
We
about?
did that, didn't we?
The 10th Amendment
We
is
haven't really got broken into it.
I mean, no, but
it's state sovereignty. 10th
Yes.
Amendment state sovereignty, right?
Okay.
So the powers that's not delegated to the federal government
Yes.
are reserved to the states.
yes.
The rights that the states don't observe fall down to the people. That's all it is. It's just state sovereignty. Or, like Thomas Hobbes said, it's a Leviathan. It's who is
that's
the
why.
sovereign.
That's why we got on the Calera thing. So the judge called the cop.
Mind your business.
And the cop said, so when I was arguing with the cop about this and that, the judge called the cop and said, hey, this is so-and-so, and you pulled him over for so-and-so. And the cop said, no, I think he claimed to be a sovereign citizen or some shit like that.
So, the
Do you
funny.
know how bad that pissed me off?
Yeah.
The judge, I said, the fuck? He said, don't say that at my courthouse. I said, I'm sorry. This is the people's court. For the people, by the people. You're an elected official. I'll say what the fuck I want. Well, we can go to jury if you want. Are we talking about a jury of my peers? No, it'll be me. I said, oh, funny how that works. You get to decide my fate. That's corrupt as fuck. You said that again. I said, yes. I said, let's keep going, shall we?
So the funny thing about jury trials is peers.
Yes.
Who's your peer?
They're no longer there.
This is an idea that we discussed before, I think.
I think we have
Because I
mentioned
have
it.
a
Yes.
friend.
I have a friend.
I have a friend. But he's gone to court many of times.
Oh yeah, your buddy out in Washington.
Yes.
Yep.
Out on the West Coast.
So now, God love him. So what the problem now is he's like got dementia, and I would totally bring him on the show, but he like can't like get it's an issue.
There's an issue.
Yeah,
But he's a solid dude.
But dude, man, when he was in his prime, like, dude, he would mess some judges up, just mess them up. He showed me some court cases and just different things that he had done, man. It was pretty wild. It was pretty wild.
I mean, there's a lot you can do with it, especially when you start getting into rights, particularly fundamental rights. Right, the ones that the courts have said, yep, verily, this person, the people have this right. The people have that right.
Yeah.
Traveling.
Sure. Like under Shapiro v. Thompson, you have the right to travel
Yeah.
freely and unencumbered.
Yep.
Cool, not a
By
problem.
everyday means.
That's
Wait.
It's not exactly where Shapiro v. Thompson was going. There's another case that was out of the Ninth Circuit that said, and it's a much, much older case, right when automobiles first started coming out.
Right.
And that's where people really like to cling on to because they're like, oh, the court said, whether it be by horse-drawn buggy or by automobile, you have the right. And you have the right to travel freely and unencumbered.
Yes.
That's not an issue. It's whether it's for commerce or not.
Yes. There is a big difference between commercial and individual travel.
Well, hang on now. If I'm driving up to Hoover
Yeah.
to go to Costco,
Right.
am I not engaged in commerce?
No.
I'm not.
No.
I'm not going to a store to buy something that was shipped from another place.
No.
Then what the hell am I doing at Costco?
Who says you're going to Costco?
But if I'm going to Costco to purchase things,
But would you tell somebody that?
that's
Right? But right? Okay.
you want to play that game?
Yes.
Game on, Rob.
Okay. But would you tell somebody that?
Well, I'm
What
going to
is it their
Costco. What are you going to
business?
Costco to do?
It's none of it. Why?
Well, how do I know that you're not going to engage in some illegal activity?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Well, the state does have the right to prevent crime. So they
Well-
do have the right to reasonably inquire into your travels.
They can
and that,
ask. They can ask, but we don't have to answer.
Well, everything
As
you
long as
say
it's not
has to be
commercial.
the truth.
Yes. If I'm
But
not in a commercial
not everything
vehicle,
that you say
if I
needs to be
privately
said.
if I privately own a vehicle and I'm traveling,
Okay.
wherever I'm traveling,
So-
and I get pulled over, where are you going? None of your business.
So if the cop can see in the back seat of your car,
Then he violated my Fourth Amendment right. If he's
No,
looking
not at
that
all.
deep.
Plain
Absolutely.
view discovery.
No. I've got limo tinted windows in the back.
Well, if he can't see, then he
If
can't
he's
see,
shining a light
obviously.
directly in and sees it, well, that's a violation of my Fourth Amendment right.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
How is it?
It's not in plain view.
Yes, it is.
But whatever
No,
he
it's
can
not.
see.
Not
It's
if
whatever
he
he can
shines
see.
a bright ass light in my back. That's not in plain view. Plain view is walking up and I can see it. But if he has to get up to the window
That's
and
not what
shine a
plain
light
view is.
in, that's plain
No.
view. Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, so Curtis Bauer says paying sales tax.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about taxes because it's not just sales tax we pay.
So
It's-
tax without representation is theft. My view.
It's conversion.
Conversion.
Yeah.
Crane or for what
For them
country?
to take it, it's conversion. It's theft by conversion.
I'm going to put it to you this way. You see every seat you see out there? Do you see all those chairs?
Wait a minute. I would say it's armed robbery.
Yes. Do you, see,
I wouldn't just say it's theft. I would say it's armed robbery.
do you see those chairs, Bo?
Yeah.
We pay a tax on every one of those chairs.
Whatever chairs we have, we pay taxes on, whether somebody's sitting in it or not.
Yes. Why?
Death before taxes.
I agree.
Death
That's
before
Brandon for you.
dishonor.
Yep. That sounds about like our cousin. Yeah.
So, you could say, you could also say that kind of go into court, right? Why are you disarmed when you go into a courthouse?
I don't know. It's really confusing.
Yeah, you're not.
Is it really?
It's a violation of my Second Amendment.
Well, the rationale there is that the courts are supposed to have integrity.
That would be great,
If they did, yeah.
but they don't. I would respect them if they
Fail.
did. That was a big
No,
fail.
that was definitely a win.
You were only off by like a foot and a half.
And it's
Yeah,
not
foot
even
and a half.
look,
That's pretty
disarmed. Let's not talk about disarmed. Let's talk about cameras. Why can't I record when I go into the courthouse?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
But they record us.
some courts do, some don't.
Need a water?
Yeah, water.
Blood Moon, dude, is so good.
What?
Blood Moon is so good. But why? So why can't I walk into a courtroom and record, but they're recording us?
The courts are not very fucking honest.
They're not. They absolutely are not. Lowest paid attorneys are judges.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you think about it, who are your judges?
Define low pay, because they're six figures at least.
Well, is Alex Shinara going to be a judge?
No.
Why not?
He gets paid millions. Judges get paid
Are you
hundreds of
saying
thousands.
that an attorney at the caliber of Alex Shinara?
Wait. Let me put it to you this way.
Shoot, what?
On the face, judges are paid so much. On the back end, we don't know. Because attorneys that get paid by their clients turn around and pay the judges to lighten the sentence. It's corruption. That is fact. So how much do they actually make? I don't know. But on the front end, at least $160,000 a year. On the back end, good question, Curtis. Good question.
An attorney who works well can make $600,000 every year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cash, but then you have to pay out, because they mostly 1099, pay out 40%.
All attorneys are 1099, I think,
Yes, they are.
because they're all independent. Everybody hangs their own shingle.
Right.
Now you can work for an attorney, like the attorneys that work for Alex Shinara,
Shinara.
or
Yeah.
Morris or any of those around
Right,
here.
right.
Right. They're not W-2s employees.
Right. They may be W-4.
They're just
1099.
paying Morris or Shinara
Yes.
20% of whatever they make
Right.
to work underneath them to get
Curtis
their
said,
contacts.
I'm a paralegal. I know how a law firm works. Wait, are you a mayor or a paralegal? Pick
Curtis
one, man.
is blowing my mind right now.
Right? Who else are you? Are you a
There is
fisherman
not
on the-
shit to do in Idaho,
Yeah,
okay?
Apparently.
Hey, if we can get him down here, we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's supposed to come down here.
He should. Curtis,
I'm telling you.
you got to get on here, Curtis.
telling you guys.
We need to talk to a mayor and a paralegal
Yeah. How does that even work?
and
He's also a
ex-military.
lobbyist.
He's a lobbyist. That's where his money comes from.
Yeah.
No. He pays the.
Oh, so he's
With
the
the
other
taxpayer
end
dollars
of it.
of the mayor.
Yes, the taxpayer dollars from the mayor. He's yeah.
Yeah. No, he's not doing that.
I'm starting to understand where multiple streams of income. Yeah.
In
That's
Roland,
good.
Iowa.
Wait.
He does. You know what? Now that I think about it, he does have a washer and a dryer in his basement.
Does he own a feed store?
He said he makes $1,500 per year as mayor. That's pretty damn good.
That's what a politician would say.
Yeah. Pretty damn good for a
And
politician.
my Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Joe Biden only makes like $400 million a year, so you're really close. You're really close.
Man, these Democrats, dude, they're just taking no. Just fucking with you, Curtis. Just fucking with you.
Just
Well, that's where we're at, fellas. We're going to pick up 11, 12, and 13.
Oh, right before 14.
Well, 14 is going to have to be its own.
It will.
Is it
There's
going to
so
be
much
its
to
own?
it.
Let's go over the amendments. Let's just briefly.
Is anything brief here?
Nope.
Let's briefly go over what we've gone over so far. 1
Through 10.
through 10.
There we go. Brief.
Brief. Let's just skate over it. What's number 1?
Freedom of press.
Freedom of press, religion, speech, association,
Number 2.
right to bear arms.
Right to bear arms. Is that
Shall-
all number 2 is?
Shall
Well,
not
it's a right to bear arms and militias.
be infringed.
So, yeah, pretty much.
Yep. And then number 3.
Quartering.
Yep. Which we
Quartering.
did go over. And actually, for what's not practiced, we actually went over that rather extensively.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
Because, it is important in
but
that
it's
sense.
quartering in peacetime,
Yes.
right?
Not war.
Right. And
Yeah.
we briefly went over the
But
Patriot
there's
Act. And,
still guidelines with war.
oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then number 4.
Number 4 is search and seizure.
Yep.
That's a pretty big one that we went
That
over.
is, and a lot of people forget that one.
I'm so glad you still have that on your phone because I deleted it.
Yes.
Ford's got more to that than
Yeah, I think 4 we talked about extensively.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of counter.
there's a lot going on in the Fourth Amendment.
Yes.
What's up with 5?
Oh shit.
That's
5
Right
a lot
to
of
remain
people forget.
silent?
Well, yeah, 5 a lot of people use, but they don't know how to use it correctly.
yeah. Hey,
Right
so
to remain silent.
one thing I definitely do want to go over
Yeah, what's that?
before we leave tonight is if you get pulled over, what rights do you have to invoke?
So when you get pulled over,
Or just in any situation that you might find yourself in a legal issue, what constitutional rights should you invoke for your
think-
benefit?
From my perspective, I think it depends. If you're walking down the sidewalk and an officer stops you and says, "Let me see your ID,"
well, it's a Terry frisk.
yes.
That's
What's your reticulable?
Terry
Or,
stop.
yes. So, why? What
Yeah.
crime have I committed?
Okay, so I've got a situation that happened to me not too long ago. Driving down 26, I believe it is, from Columbiana to Alabaster. Driving down that road, cops just stopping everybody, right?
Uh-huh.
Would
You mean like a
So
DUI
I mean,
stop
basically,
type situation?
a Dewey stop.
yeah.
So, funny enough,
that's a
DUI checkpoints. There's some pretty particular rules against that.
They try to say it's legal, but it's not.
Well, it can be. It can be, and the courts have explicitly said what needs to happen for them to be legal. Like they have to advertise that they're doing it. They have to within a certain time frame of it happening. Like they can't just be like, we're going to go down 26 tonight and put up a checkpoint. they can pull over everybody that's just hammered out of their mind. Okay. None of it's going to stick. Mm-hmm. So, but going back to your question, like what right should you specifically invoke? Your Fifth Amendment, right to remain silent.
Yep.
Because if a cop pulls you over, you are in a custodial situation, right? You're not necessarily free to go.
Brandon, you ain't wrong. he controls the cops.
So by,
He's the mayor. I mean,
yeah.
right.
The chief reports to the mayor.
No, him and the sheriff ain't exactly on speaking terms.
Yeah. Hey. Oh shit! Something just happened. Mike's went dead.
no, they. Whoa.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
What happened there? You did it.
Mike check. Mike check. Hold on.
Hey, we're good here.
Yeah. Hold on.
You need to
There
switch.
we
There
are.
we
There
go.
we go.
Now we
That's
can hear it.
live. That's all live.
That.
So what
that
you
was,
do?
That was definitely Matt.
So what you do when you
All
get,
you.
That was Matt.
when you get pulled over,
Yeah.
the best thing to do, in all honesty,
Is strip, jump out of the vehicle, strip, say bees are attacking me, and run around like.
That's
you're-
a great plan.
It worked for Dumb and Dumber.
So I normally jump into the passenger seat and say, I don't know where he went.
The the Holy Spirit is driving me home. Or you hop out, bees are attacking. Get away, get away, don't get stung.
I've used that before, but the jumping into the passenger seat really confuses them. They're like, who was driving? I said, it's my buddy. He's gone. I didn't know where he went.
Bo's like, fuck, I got to deal with y'all.
And so, yeah, that's really worked really well. I mean,
yeah,
I'm like, I can't drive.
Bo's eyes
but-
just opened. He's like,
You
oh,
didn't see him run? He
See?
ran. I don't know where he went.
This is what society is. This is.
hey,
this
you
is
know
my
what? So
life.
long as I get paid, I don't care, man.
So,
I'll show up and we'll fight. We'll fight like hell.
On that note, like I mean, we're sitting here talking law with you, and nobody really knows your credentials.
I don't
That's
have
new.
any.
He doesn't. He has, no.
Wait.
He has no credentials. He's never done anything in his life. He's just a loser.
He's
I
got
just
a-
showed up one day and started drinking meat.
He's
All
got
right.
a YouTube degree.
Yes.
YouTube is the best. It really is.
We had
It is.
Hey, we had Anna's son come change our oil, and our 9-year-old said, "How do you know how to do this?" Oh, I have it."
YouTube.
Yeah. He said,
have a
"I have a
YouTube degree."
YouTube certificate."
Yeah.
Certificate.
Certificate. Look, I'm telling you, dude, YouTube's a fantastic.
It's a great place to start, right?
I mean, it's you.
I said it's a great place to finish, too.
Nah. Not necessarily. When it comes to the law, right?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Right, because it changes so often.
That's the problem.
Well,
How does
Well,
law
but it's gotta
change? That's some bullshit-donkey, if you ask me.
There's got to be an ebb and flow with everything.
yeah.
The tides come and go. Law comes and goes. That's what makes the country able to maintain a relatively steady status quo.
Right.
I'm not saying it does. I'm saying if we look at it in a vacuum. If we look at it in a vacuum, everything needs to stay the same and there will never be a variance. The problem with law is there is a constant variance.
I think a big problem with law too is there's an
Fort
interpretation.
Seal, really? Sorry. It's just Fort Seal. He said he went to basic at Fort Seal. I know how he said it because anywhere other than Fort Benning is Fort Seal. That's just how it's said. I don't know what that means, but cool.
Oh, he's taking his kids out there
Oh.
so that they can.
Wait,
so
Take
they
him
can
out to
kind
Fort Benning.
to
Then
Fort
you'll see some real
Seal.
shit. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been through
it's hard to
Oklahoma.
listen to a mayor and a sheriff.
A mayor.
And,
He's
I
not
don't-
the sheriff. He just pissed off the sheriff.
I know, but still,
or
at the,
the
same time.
intel of the army.
Yes.
You just tell us what to do, and usually it's wrong. Right?
Yeah. Hey, you go right, and then bang, bang. No, we should have gone left.
Is that why I got hit by a 500-pound JDAM?
Yes.
Friendly fire. That's
You know
why.
what? I think we can blame it on Curtis.
I don't think you can blame that on Curtis.
No, we can't. But hey, at this point, he's family.
Right. So
Brandon
so we're
said,
gonna, are we under the fifth
just
or are we under the
remember
sixth?
who the infantry calls daddy.
Oh, that's a good question.
Because Matt wanted to do a quick brief. Now we're at
Yes.
JDAM. So
Yes. We're
I think we
shit.
stopped at 5. Did we,
We
stop
did
at 4 or
5,
5?
and then 6 is important though. A lot. I think
we go through 5?
I think 6 is one of those that.
Yeah, we did.
So we went through Double Jeopardy.
No, not necessarily.
We did. We did
went
do
5
that.
just like we
I remember.
briefly.
I remember going through that, and then 6th, because I brought up the point of 6th, and people don't know how to correctly invoke the 6th to the right to the attorney.
Let's go through that a little bit. Let's just
Because a lot of
recap.
people, oh, I invoke my 5th, and I need my
We got
attorney.
a few
but
minutes to do this, so
So
Yeah.
the 6th Amendment is just the right to trial. Trial by jury in criminal prosecutions. The
where's
5th Amendment
Where's
is...
the attorney? 6 is also attorney. Wait, I remember us having this discussion. Because if you invoke the 5th, you can also invoke the 6th, and that's, I'm not going to say it's the right to an attorney, but
Well, no, you're right. I'm sorry. The 6th is right to counsel.
Yes, that.
Right, so you invoke your
Counsel.
5th and your 6th. Your
Yes.
5th is ain't self-incrimination. Your right to remain silent.
Right.
6 is your right to counsel.
Yes.
And when you're in a custodial situation, those are the two amendments
And
things
for-
that you invoke.
For the record, custodial means if you are being detained or being questioned.
No,
Yes.
no,
No.
no.
Custodial is
A custodial situation is when your movement is hindered by another person.
yeah.
So you could be talking with a cop,
right.
and if you try to just turn around and walk away and they grab you, you're in a custodial situation.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So I guess that's a step above being detained.
It's a step below.
Above. If you're being detained, for example, if you look at
If
a
you're
cop,
being detained, you know you're in a custodial situation.
no.
If you're in handcuffs, if you don't know to shut the fuck up,
But-
I don't know what to tell you.
But if you are walking down the sidewalk and an officer says, "Let me see your ID," what crime have I committed?
That's a custodial situation.
But you're not in handcuffs. If you say, "Am I being detained?" Yes, you're not in handcuffs, but you're still detained. That would be a custodial contain.
Right. But a custodial situation is a step below detainment, because in detainment, you now have been put on notice that you're in a custodial situation.
So taking the word custodial out.
So we're going situation or detainment?
If I look at an officer and he says, "Let me see your ID," and I say no, and I say, "Am I being detained?" and he says yes,
Then you invoke your 5th and 6th. Right then and there.
even though I'm not in handcuffs.
Right, because you're being detained.
I agree. And that's what most encounters are, because a lot of places think that it's stop and identify.
Well, they can stop and identify you.
Well, no.
Yes.
Terry versus Ohio.
Terry gave them the ability under reasonable suspicion.
Yes, you have to have reasonable,
And you can
articulable
ask that.
suspicion.
But what
Yes.
is that?
Well, right. Ask what it is.
Yes.
You're well within
What
your rights to be like,
crime
why are
have-
you stopping me?
What crime have I committed?
What if they just make some shit up? That's
What
I'm
if
saying.
what crime have I committed? And this is the most popular one. Well, we have suspicion.
smelled.
Suspicion.
Okay.
of you recording vehicles. Okay, is that a misdemeanor or a felony? That's not a crime. Woo woo! They coming for you, Anna. Turn the knob.
Turn the knob. We love you.
Yes, we love you too.
Anna
Bye,
has
Cindy.
left the building.
She has.
She hath left the building.
So, and that's the situation is. Let's say I'm walking down this sidewalk and Alabaster pulls me over. Hey, let me see your ID. Why?
Right. That's all you have to say is why.
Why?
And if they say,
Suspicion.
if they just make some shit up and be like, okay,
yes,
give me your ID, and be like, no, because I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
Why are you
that's
stopping
the
me?
reasonable, articulable suspicion of a crime,
Right.
and that's where Terry versus Ohio comes from.
Right. Next.
Yeah, he was so quiet for so long.
Everybody's waiting. Yeah, Curtis said, by the way, if you get nailed by a J-Dam, it was Air Force until I said, yeah, I know. Yeah.
It was.
I'm aware of that. Yeah. So just throwing that out there.
So, Seventh Amendment, common law suits,
Yeah.
Yep.
and right to jury trial.
Yes.
Not incorporated through the 14th Amendment, therefore not applicable to the states.
Okay, so why?
Do you know how often he's mentioned the 14th tonight?
A lot.
Yes.
The
I know
14th
we're
is
getting
big.
there.
Yes.
I know
Yeah,
we
that's a
gotta
big
schedule
amendment.
it after this, but why is it not incorporated? Why? By the states.
I don't have that answer for you right now.
Okay. That's a great answer.
I don't personally understand it myself.
Yeah.
Because if, especially in the overwhelming administrative state that we're in,
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
Because you oftentimes don't know who's coming after you. If the government's coming after you, the Seventh Amendment should apply. Period. So why it's not, honestly, I don't know.
So
Is it just so that the government?
I mean, I could
overreach?
speculate on things, right?
When
I could
is-
speculate
Let's
on
speculate.
when is your bar exam?
hopefully February.
So we're just to let everybody know, we're trying to milk him before he gets that number.
And then he can't say much.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like that's ever stopped me.
and then when he's up here, he's like, you know, you're getting charged by the hour, right? Which we've had a criminal defense lawyer up here before.
We need to get him back on.
We do. He's
Yeah.
actually defending my 17-year-old in a
Ticket.
You need
ticket.
You need
Yes.
to talk to him about getting back on.
Yeah, I gotta call him and talk to him about the whole situation.
He'll be able to. So the funny thing about constitutional law is it's very broad,
Yeah.
right? So when you're asking questions and get down into the nitty gritty, there are so many different aspects of law that get broken up into this, right? So you've got civil
Right.
law, you've got domestic relations law, you've got
Yeah.
torts law, contracts law, real property, business law, commercial law, all of those things. Like the Constitution controls all of them.
Oh yeah.
So it's difficult at times to answer a question down to a specific detail, right?
Yeah.
When
Right.
you're trying to be over broad.
Right.
When you're talking about the Constitution in a broad sense of just reading it textually, it's very, very, very difficult.
I think next time we bring you on, we're gonna have a case laid out,
Case laid out.
and
We're-
then you
wanna
have to
through it?
argue
That would
one
be
side
good.
or the other,
Yeah.
and then
You know, actually, I did that not too long ago in my
Yeah.
constitutional law class, and it
Yeah.
was about affirmative action. And I actually had to argue on behalf of the university.
Wow.
ooh, that's difficult.
It was difficult to do because
It's like, how is this not racist?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
difficult to do.
Did you win?
no.
I mean, it's hard to do.
No, it's difficult.
Well, so what in that particular exercise, what I did, I didn't know that we had to lay the argument that was laid before the court.
Yeah.
I laid my own argument, in which I think I was correct, that it wasn't racist, because, and I mean, it's been, 2 months now since we did that particular case. Trying to remember off the top of my head. It had to do with admissions and raising admissions standards. And there's a lot of tricky technicalities that go into it. So a lot of people want to look at it facially as like, oh, well, you're raising your standards, and by raising those standards, you're going to eliminate minorities. When that's not necessarily the case. If you want your university to become a top tier university, you obviously want your academics to excel.
Yeah.
So if you lower your standards, not only will you increase your admissions of minorities, but you're also going to increase the non-minority class,
Yeah.
which overwhelms.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is lowering your capacity.
But that's the weirdest part is like the minority class normally excels the non-minority class, right? So like Asians normally excel above everybody else,
Typically,
right?
in certain classifications,
They're the
yeah,
non.
sure.
I mean, so if we're talking about minority versus non-minority in schools, Asians excel. They're the non-minority.
Well, yeah, and I believe there was a case from Harvard not too long ago where they weren't accepting Asian.
Yes.
There
there
was.
was. I remember
It's just
that.
wild, dude. That's crazy.
Well, it's because they were overpopulating the university.
but I mean, if they're good at it,
Right.
why not?
I don't disagree.
They're great.
I think it should be a merit-based system. If you've got the grades,
If
if you
you-
have the capacity
I mean,
to take
You're
on the load, do it.
best person.
That's the difference
for-
between, I think, just people who think logically and people who think emotionally.
Right.
Is most people that think logically will say, hey, if you're better than me, great. If you're not, great. But people who think emotionally are, if you're better than me, no, I deserve that spot.
because I'm this or that or.
Right, and I mean it could be. You could look at it either way. You typically try to put emotion aside when you're
Yes.
dealing with the law,
Yeah.
because the law doesn't see morality.
The law doesn't care about how you feel.
Right, it's the facts.
Hard to do.
Yes.
Right? So when you're talking about affirmative action and race-based admissions, when I was doing my own research for this, I realized that there were a lot of factors that went into it. And there were a lot of factors that the court didn't even look at. And that's one of the problems I think is with our judicial system is they get to kind of pick and choose what facts they look at to
Yes.
analyze against the law.
They do. Yep.
And when you do that, you run into a gigantic problem of, well, is this just?
Yeah.
And you can reason one way or the other. Just like anything in law, there has
Right.
to be two arguments.
Yes.
That's why the law is written the way it is, so that you can argue both sides.
law is interpretation.
It is interpretation,
Yeah.
and it's interpretation, and it is persuasive. You got to persuade the person adjudicating you are the one that's right.
Or the 12 people sitting up there deciding your fate.
Well, Bo, we appreciate everything.
Yeah, man.
Once
Whoa, man.
again,
Good time.
it's been extremely informative.
Yes.
I tried.
Next time we got
11, 12,
11,
13.
12, and 13. And then I think
Oh,
we're going
yeah.
to do a 14 just all.
We're gonna
Maybe a 14, 15.
We're gonna
But just
edge on the 14, you know, get everybody excited.
Little tickle.
Little tickle on the 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We'll,
then the
we'll
four-
keep jumping back and forth.
I think
but
the-
I
Well,
want to
so-
do a little bit of review
The,
because
the 11th is going to be pretty intense
Yes.
because there's
Okay.
a lot of
Yes.
philosophical and ideological thought process that goes
Okay.
into the 11th.
Right,
All
which
right.
is great because we do that.
And
here.
that's
Yeah.
what
We
we
need-
kind of have to go into.
we need to schedule that.
Talking about state judicial and qualified immunity.
Man,
Okay.
dude, that.
That's going to be my bread and butter.
Yes.
Because I
Because
want to
that
take
is-
it and just go, it doesn't exist.
That is something that
Hey, the camera just shut
I
off.
agree with.
Let's end
Yep.
this. Thanks so much. We appreciate you.
I'm surprised. That's good. It just, I
Well, it was a good time, fellas.
don't know. Yes.
I mean, almost 2 hours. That was good.
Oh, but that was a good show. Honestly, I think some of the best shows are the shows where Wade doesn't